Well, today is the 15th day of Advent, and let's look in our calendar to see where number 15 is. Oh, there it is right there. Oh my goodness. Well, 15 means that there's only 10 days left until Christmas. Let's see what we have today. We have Wreck the Halls. Wreckin' Ralph, right? Vanellope, could you tell something was bothering Ralph? Hey, shouldn't you be Mr. Holly Jolly? It's only a few days until Christmas, your first real Christmas. The festive period was usually pretty lonely for video game bad guys like Ralph, but ever since Ralph had saved his game from being unplugged, the Nicelanders had realized a good guy their bad guy was. For the first time ever, they had even invited Ralph to their Christmas party. It was great to go to the Nicelanders party, Ralph admitted, but you know what? The whole time I was there, I couldn't stop thinking about bad guys in all the other games. Their Christmas will just be as lonely as ever. Ralph remembered past Christmases spent alone on his brick pile. Bad guys deserve a real Christmas too. Vanellope tilted her head to one side, then nodded. You're right, she said. And can we give it to them? She remembered how bad it felt to be left out of the other racers in her own game. Let's throw the bad guys a Christmas party with presents and a tree, the whole 9 yards. Ralph's face lit up. That's a perfect idea. He hopped up with excitement and landed with a boom. The ground shook and a towering sugar drift toppled over, burying Vanellope. Oops, sorry, said Ralph, digging her out. Ralph called a special meeting of the Bad-Anons support group. Every year, we bad guys get stuck on the outside of Christmas. Well, this year, everything's going to be different. Ralph told them about the wonderful Christmas could be, with decorations, presents, songs, and parties. Everyone was really excited. Ralph's Christmas sounded like so much fun. I want everyone to meet here in the support group room on Christmas Eve, said Ralph, and get ready for the merriest Christmas ever. Ralph and Vanellope got busy making a special gift for each bad guy. They planned something for everyone, including a new fireproof cape for Satine, 8 cozy mittens for Cleoptopus, and a jar of extra sticky toffees for Zombie to reattach his arms. And now for the tree, said Vanellope. It just isn't Christmas without a tree covered in sweets. They found a perfect lollipop tree in Lolly Stick's forest. Then they strung it with popcorn garlands and hung candy canes on its branches. A glistening rock candy star twinkled on top. Not bad, said Vanellope, stepping back to admire it. Ralph agreed. It didn't exactly look like the Nicelanders' Christmas tree, but he knew the bad guys would love it. Now, there was just one day left till Christmas Eve, and Ralph was worried about something. How are we going to carry all this to the support group room? Vanellope wrinkled her nose as she thought it over. Then her eyes widened, the same way Santa does, in a sleigh. Vanellope dragged Ralph across the sugar rush to the cart bakery, and then they could use the sugar frosting and sweets they needed to create the perfect Christmas cart. Has anyone made a sleigh before? Asked Ralph. I doubt it, but there's a first time for everything, Vanellope replied as she fiddled with the controls. Gears turned, belts rolled, mixers mixed, and frosting frosted. Within minutes, a gleaming vehicle slid out of the finisher and came to a rest at Ralph's feet. One rocket-powered candy sleigh ready to go, Vanellope declared. On Christmas Eve, the two friends met to bring Christmas to the bad guys. Vanellope came dressed and ready to play an elf. I didn't have a hat a size freakishly large, so I made you this. She tossed Ralph an empty sugar sack tied with a red bow on it. How about I get us off the ground, said Vanellope. She shooed Ralph onto the passenger seat. You can turn on the rockets once we get going. Vanellope revved the engines and they were off. Soon they were flying smoothly toward the game exit. Okay, let's get this thing moving, Ralph called out, reaching for the left and right rocket switches. He flipped them both, but his powerful grip snapped one of the tiny rocket switches like a toothpick. Only one rocket turned on and the sleigh spun out of control. Vanellope tried to regain control of the runaway sleigh, but no matter what she did, there was no use. The rocket spiraled lower and lower until, gloop, it came to a lurching stop in the middle of the great caramel lake. Ralph and Vanellope managed to swim to the shore, but the sleigh and all the presents were ruined. Ralph watched sadly as everything they had worked on sank beneath the caramel lake. Empty-handed and covered in caramel, Ralph and Vanellope made their way to the support group room. Ralph hesitated. What are we going to tell the guys? I've wrecked their Christmas. The crash had been an accident, but Vanellope was still sad that they wouldn't be able to have a Christmas party. Time to face the music, big guy, she said. But when they opened the door, the friend's jaw dropped. The room was completely decked out and the party was well underway. The bad guys greeted them with a big cheer. Where did you get all of this? Asked Ralph. We spent the last few days getting everything ready, the sorceress said. You got all of us in the Christmas spirit. But Vanellope and I made presents, decorated a tree, and even had a sleigh. But I wrecked it. I wrecked everything, said Ralph very sadly. Don't be silly, said Saltine. You're the reason why we're here, spending Christmas together. That's a pretty great gift. The other bad guys nodded in agreement. A wide smile spread across Ralph's face. Merry Christmas, everyone. They all celebrated late into the night. It truly was the merriest Christmas any of them had ever had. Being together is a very special, special way to celebrate Christmas.